This is Stephen E. Arnold. DarkCyber 2022 is our fourth series of videos about smart software, intelware, and related subjects. Today's program is an interview with a leader in law enforcement and sense-making systems. DataWalk is a next-generation policeware and intelware system. The company's approach makes the DataWalk technology platform attractive to fraud investigators, as well as commercial firms wanting to extract value from their data. DataWalk is an analytics platform which allows a user to fuse data, detect issues, and perform investigations quickly, often in a fraction of the time required for users of Palantir Technologies or IBM i2 Analyst Notebook type systems. DataWalk was founded in 2016 and has offices in Redwood City, California. Today, I'm speaking with Chris Westphal, who is the company's Chief Analytics Officer. Chris founded Visual Analytics and sold that firm to Raytheon several years ago. DataWalk is now a leader in presenting insights from the firm's platform in a way that eliminates the confusion and delays with other types of investigative and intelligence systems. Chris, thank you for agreeing to speak with me today.
Thank you, Steve. I'm delighted to be here.
High-profile policeware and intelware systems, like IBM i2 Analyst Notebook and Palantir type systems, are often criticized because they are hard to use. What's DataWalk done to make the investigative and analysis processes less onerous?
First, we have our icon interface. You drag and drop new data sets and model their content after loading. And second, we have microservices and a growing app center of third-party providers, libraries, content, access points, and advanced functionality. For example, dark web content from providers like ShadowDragon. Third, an investigator can select the data set and perform no-code ad hoc queries, create complex workflows, generate risk scores, and have rapid access to those services or data. Better and faster results on larger amounts of data.
Now, my understanding is that i2 and Palantir type systems require the user to go through what I call data loading hoops, which takes enormous amounts of time.
Correct. These two platforms are built on older frameworks and concepts, and both use proprietary formats. Users have to map their data into a predefined ontology. This means a user has to transform the raw data to make sure everything fits or maps into their data structures. This approach locks users into their platform. The time and expense of getting data out of these systems can be high. Just ask the New York Police Department and other investigative teams. They found this to be time-consuming, expensive, and inflexible.
Now, this mapping content, I think, is sometimes called tagging or flagging, is a key function. How fine-grained is the DataWalk mapping process?
Users often think in terms of signals or flags. Some are subtle. So, for example, whether a person of interest is alive or dead, associated with a gang, arrested for a violent crime, owns a weapon, been incarcerated, whatever it might be. DataWalk operates at this level, and in DataWalk, we configure graphical glyphs to mark an object for specific content. Essentially let the user know, hey, there's more information available here. The user simply clicks and sees a deeper dive on the data. We like our customers to work smarter.
Data today arrives in gigabyte and terabyte blocks. What's DataWalk's real-world data capacity?
Well, we're doing proof of concepts with 25 terabytes of data. Of course, the system scales far beyond that. We've even architected petabyte scale systems.
A recent article talked about a data fabric. I think that has something to do with big data. What's DataWalk's approach to large volumes of data?
I saw the article, and the phrase keeps turning up. There's even a data fabric for dummies book. The fabric idea is that a framework, an architecture, combines and controls content, the data services, to help organizations make use of their information across different application endpoints, of which DataWalk is one. That's a core capability of DataWalk, basically a single pane of glass. We provide the user interfaces and APIs to create different data flows and content based on a user's role. Some users need to do basic query, others need to do more proactive pattern analysis. Users are handled coherently by DataWalk fabric across different permissible sources.
A data fabric implies integrating many different types of data from disparate systems. Can you give me an overview of the data intake capabilities of DataWalk?
Sure. Let me highlight several of the interfaces. So first, we have a SQL-compliant database driver. Second, the system handles flat files like spreadsheets and limited value content. Third, we offer a data processing framework to handle special formats like XML, JSON, UFED, and others. And then fourth, our App Center is where the DataWalk clients and partners can create specialized interfaces via our API. Sky's the limit.
What data providers are currently taking advantage of your App Center?
Well, off the top of my head, we're working on building connections with LexisNexis, Thomson Reuters, Wooster, PIPL, machine learning libraries, open source exploitation vendors, some image and geocoding companies, natural language processing providers, and case management systems. The main point is that DataWalk is engineered to be future safe.
My opinion is that Palantir-type systems often include a pre-structured organizational or conceptual framework for content. That can be rigid. What's DataWalk's approach?
That's a good point of comparison, the rigidity of competitive systems. DataWalk does not have a fixed ontology. Every source, every format, every layout can be accommodated, and then using ETL, extract, load, transform, the appropriate analytical models are created post-load. It's easy to change and try different approaches.
Does my idea that DataWalk is functioning like a data blender?
Well, I like to think of DataWalk as a next-generation data router. Our platform can access content, add value to that content, and flow the content to other systems as needed. As discussed earlier, it's an open data fabric framework, an architecture with microservices.
Chris, can you give me an example of that?
Sure. So a user can load data from different sources or different systems, quickly identify target entities, pull out, let's say, a remarks or a comment field, send that to a natural language processing function, and then have the NLP, like a Versoka, extract entity names, bring those back in the DataWalk. We will then check those names, let's say, against active watch list. Once the data router or fabric is set up and configured, it does what it does with a click of an icon.
Well, in your system, what happens to TikTok and other types of rich media content?
So DataWalk can handle most types of content. TikTok or any other platform can be processed to pull out metadata. Coupling directly with their APIs or using something like Shadow Dragon, DataWalk can access titles, creator names, comments, and dates, plus other information returned from the API calls. So, for example, extract specific items of data from the source, then make a call to, let's say, a machine learning video detection library or an NLP system to detect objects like weapons or vehicles. Recognize entities, transcribe audio, or even perform foreign language translation.
You mentioned mobile phone data. How can DataWalk contribute to an investigation with the data from these types of devices?
Well, one of our clients had boxes and boxes of seized mobile phones. They extracted the data, the phone calls, and that was processed by DataWalk's interface. And we connected to thousands of images that were sent to a machine learning system. And then we were able to answer requests like, show me only pictures with money or flag images with nudity.
So does that mean that DataWalk does not have an artificial glass ceiling over the investigators?
Correct. DataWalk can incorporate any needed libraries, logically assimilate their capabilities into our workflows and analytical processes. This is the breakthrough idea behind the data router and fabric functionality.
I'm going to change my metaphor. DataWalk now strikes me more like an investigative data orchestra conductor.
You've got the main idea. Plus, if you think about silos of data in some large organizations, maybe a medical research facility or a government agency, then DataWalk acts as the integrating framework where different silos are combined, different federated queries via our App Center are initiated, and other non-silo data are integrated, all managed with proper security.
Once again, is there an example you can describe for me?
Sure. A good example of this is the ARCOS data, which is a DEA data source that contains controlled substances reporting oxycodone transactions between manufacturers and distributors to the doctors and pharmacies. DataWalk made it possible to identify, in minutes, high-volume pill distribution in low-density populated areas. Why is Pharmacy X in a town of 2,500 people ordering in excess of 50,000 pills?
What kind of hoops did you have to jump through to pull out this result?
Well, we simply used a census data set. We connected the zip codes from the addresses of the point of sale entity, and we quickly had our answers. We've been doing this on a much larger scale across multiple silos for a variety of different agencies. Other models include open source crime reports, supplier or distributor registrations, and entities with prior actions or prosecutions.
Palantir system, based on what I've heard, can often hit 7 figures. Same with IBM Analyst Notebook. Where does the pricing of DataWalk come in?
Our licenses, our costs are significantly cheaper. Our customers don't have to decide between reducing headcount or having a next generation system. The savings apply to support, maintenance, and engineering time. Plus, we can become operational more quickly.
If someone wants more information about the DataWalk system, what's the best way to get it and reach you?
So just use the form on our website at the URL on the viewer's display.
Chris, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Stephen.